Hello, hello, hello. It's showtime. Here we are for another Facebook Live Mystery Monday in the good old, but in a way brand new, creative smartphone photography group. I'm looking like this today. Hello! Still in lockdown fever, and I hope you're doing okay. And I extended the theme for a second week because I realized that it was for books, remember? No, yeah, it was books. Then I changed it to lockdown literature. And I realized that I hadn't put the thread up for about a week. So I extended it for a week. Not that many people contributed anymore, but we've got a few pictures to look at, and we've got another few pictures to look at, and we've got a bit of news. So there you go. Let me share my screen. Oh, oh yeah, I can, yeah. Sorry, this nearly crashed a couple of minutes ago, which is why I'm kind of all over the place. So yeah, the theme for today is theoretically books, and in particular lockdown literature. In other words, what books you have been looking at over the this kind of lockdown period. I just did this live thing to introduce some changes to the group, a couple of changes, or rather it's a new feature, which is replacing some old features. And then there's this literature one, literature for lockdown, we're going to look at. And let's get right into it. First of all, I realize I never introduced myself. I'm 𝗧𝗢𝗗𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗞. I'm the guy who created the group because I love photography. I decided to focus on smartphone photography, not because that's the only thing I have ever used. I used to have big fancy cameras. I've still got a big fancy camera, but I never use it because this is so convenient. The quality is so good these days. It's always with you. You know, what isn't there to like? So that's why I call it the creative smartphone photography group, and not the creative photography group. Having said that, the creative bit is probably as important, if not more important, than the smartphone bit, because it's all about creativity, being as creative as you can with these images. So yeah, so that's me. And there are a couple of changes in the group. Before I launch into anything looking at photographs and the theme of the week and things like that, there are a couple of changes. And as I mentioned in that little video that is already on the page, but I'll tell you now in case you've got any questions about it. If you want to comment, then you go to, you can say hello for a start. You don't have to say anything other than that. So I know that I'm not alone in this big wide world. You ask your questions in the chat, in the group. Yesterday on my Sunday evening thing, I do a 𝗧𝗢𝗓𝗓, an infinite creativity 𝗧𝗢𝗓 on a Sunday evening. For me, Sunday evening. For the States, it's in the middle of the day or something. And no comments came through, and I thought I was very, very much alone. But in fact, there was a problem. Facebook were no longer feeding comments which were left on the profile page. This should be okay because it's in a group. Apparently it's okay. But you still need to go to 𝗧𝗢𝗓𝗓/Facebook and tell them that it's okay for me to see who you are. Okay, so that's just another little bit of housekeeping there. So let me tell you about the change. Have I got a page open on the change? That's not it. That's not it. We may get there at some point. We may not. Here we are. So this is the change, the big change in the group. I was getting a bit confused, and it was taking a lot of time to put individual prompts with individual themes per day. And it was, you know, it's confusing and people weren't contributing. So, you know, for whatever reason, I'm changing it. And for whatever, yeah, I'm changing it. And the new thing is a new prompt every day, but it's always the same style. It's just a new picture with a little bit of text, which I've written, my picture, and hopefully it will inspire you to post your pictures, not your text. That's another story coming in a second. So I'm going to post a picture every day because I don't know if you know, but I post pictures on Facebook and on my website every single day of Paris and a text, and they look something like this. So this, for example, this is just finished. We're rather lucky because this week's chapter has just finished, and it's down here. The last one was today. It's down in the bottom right there. And this is the chapter. I think it was chapter 5 of the current book we're on, book 2, I think it is, or book something or other. It tells me here. If I go up a little bit, it's volume 2, book 2, chapter 5. And these were the photographs from this chapter. It's just been finished today. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. And you know, you've got, is that a boy or I'm not sure, a lady, a girl down there? There's a lady, definitely a lady up in the top right there. You've got a window, kind of recessed window or door. Maybe door in the bottom right and the top left. You've got a big tower with some nice blue around it in the top. You've got a bit of lovely blue in the bottom with a very characterful door knocker, which is actually in the form of a hand, which is quite cool. You've got some lovely lighting with low sunshine on the left and on the right there, and slap bang in the middle, bam, in your face, red, a majorly red photograph. We might have a look at some of those in a bit more detail later on. So I wanted to tell you about the change which I have made, and the change is that, yeah, every day there'll be a prompt based on my photograph. So for example, there's the photograph of today, and I'm actually recycling my pixels, so it's rather worthy, but it's also because I'm getting overwhelmed and I can't do different things for the different groups, but I've realized I don't have to. There's a photography group, I share a photograph and a little bit of text, because, you know, a little bit of text from the photograph that I wrote could inspire some thoughts which make you think of another photograph. And of course I post, so your photograph could be inspired by the text or the photograph or both. And the idea is you post a photograph of yours that you've already got, and you're reminded of it by this photograph, and you post it and you say why you thought of that photograph. Or you literally go out and shoot something inspired by this photograph or this text. You see, it's a very small piece of text because obviously it's a photograph group, but you know, I am me and it's my thing. You know, every day I produce a photograph and text, you see, like for example, this one. Here's the photograph. And here's the text, which may or may not be inspired by it, but it goes with it. There's no doubting that it goes with it, you see. So I'm going to take a bit of my text and hit you with it. And who knows, you know, it's not, things aren't black and white, I was going to say, but, you know, lines between text, images, what influences you. I'm not convinced, you know, that you can really have one thing sort of independent of everything else. So there you go. And I just shared a paragraph from it, and you can decide what you're going to do with that. What I want, though, is for more people to contribute more often, because it is the creative smartphone photography group. If you just like looking at the pictures, that's fine. But the spirit of it, and my almost, you know, reason for doing the whole thing, is to get people to be more creative. And that in a photography group means taking more photographs and posting them. So I'd love you if you could, and I'd love it if you could post more often, and, you know, let me know if you like the idea of this theme. But I mean, I think it's okay. So it's up to you. It's up to you to, you know, take what is on offer here and do something with it and make yourself that creative smartphone photographer you know you are deep inside. So a couple of people have, you know, it's the first day and bam, we've already got a couple of contributors. Fantastic. We've got Rob, who says, there's a lot of creativity surrounding that little window. Yeah. And I've got an even littler window. If you go up to the top left there, you see that one there. It's even littler. It's a tiny little window. And there's a fantastic thing someone pointed out to me. I'll put the whole photograph up and see if you see what it is. It's an optical illusion. And someone, when they saw this, they said, oh, wow, it's an optical illusion. It looks like a little pyramid popping out at you. Can you see it? Can you get it to do it? I'll give you a couple of seconds. Look at the window, recessed. It's recessed. And see if you can make it flip so that it becomes a little funny little stubby pyramid poking out at you. I mean, I can do it. I'm looking at it and waiting for it to switch. Bam, it switched. Now it's a little stubby pyramid sticking out at me. It's really quite cool. Say hello in the chat, by the way, if you're there. I hope that we're not having problems with the chat in the same way as I did yesterday on my profile. So just send me one reassuring little message saying, yes, we can hear you and see you, and yes, and then I'll see your comment. Thank you. Otherwise I don't know. So we've got Rob saying, the blues caught my eye on the Parks Trail. Odd, I pass this sign often on my luncheon walk. This day I was inspired to capture it. Yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be that it's inspired by my photo of the day. You can post your thing. I've got a comment. Yes, the comments are coming through. Oof. 𝗧𝗢𝗗𝗕𝗕𝗢𝗓, hi. Thank you. 𝗪𝗓𝗎𝗓, hi. Yeah, because yesterday my wonderful 2-hour-long blah blah on life, the universe, creativity, croissant, and everything was sabotaged by Facebook, not passing comments on to when it was broadcast on a Facebook profile. Just so you know. Great, thank you. 𝗪𝗓𝗎𝗓, hi, 𝗪𝗓𝗎𝗓. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so I'm changing this as I think, and I'm thinking, no, you don't have to even relate it to this. Okay, I've just changed that as I'm thinking. Why restrict it? Any day you want to contribute something, just contribute it in the daily thing. I think that's quite good. Which might mean that we don't even need to have a weekend thing. Oh yeah. What's going on? I'm not sure about this. Anyway, so Rob, it's really strange because as I said to Rob, I said, strangely enough, a bit before Christmas, I was also inspired to photograph a bunch of blue street signs between my old Tai Chi lessons and 𝗧𝗢𝗎𝗄. I haven't done anything with him yet, but now maybe I will. You know, there's a thing about having a theme. For example, you might not think that one blue panel is that big a deal. But what about if you decided to make a collage like this? But it's 9 different blue panels or signs that you find in your town. That could be quite funny. You know, that could be quite cool. You arrange them nicely. You've got a very interesting panel. As it happens, Rob already had a panel of blue signs. There they are. And Chris said very astutely, I wonder what's to the left, because everything seems to be going right, doesn't it? And I said, whatever's left. Whatever's left is on the left. You got your parking, you've got your dogs, you've got your pee-pee rooms. Everything's on the right, isn't it, in his town? So thanks for that, Rob. A regular contributor. I think he should have a medal for, assiduity. 𝗪𝗓𝗎𝗓 says, I wasn't quite sure what she meant here, but now I understand, I think. She said, I am fed up with this guy painting me all over. What if I grabbed his caddy and his tools inside it and smashed it over his head? Now, I thought this was 𝗪𝗓𝗎𝗓 speaking from 𝗪𝗓𝗎, but in fact, 𝗪𝗓𝗎𝗓 was pretending to be the person who is being painted over, which is good because she's being creative in what she was saying, not just, and she said, actually, the artist has still not finished drawing the monster. He is adding it on top of the painting of a young man with a cap who is also observing the scene attentively. Indeed, yes. You know, the thing here is, this is very interesting because what do you think of one street artist covering up another street artist's work? Me looking at this personally, I think I prefer what's behind than the sort of taggy type stuff in front. Maybe the guy hasn't finished. And maybe it's a wall where anyone can do anything. That's fair enough. Having said that, it looks like a wall that was dedicated to a really nice piece of street art. You've got the metro up here in the air. You've got, lovely, well painted houses there with the lights at night sky, lovely painted cap, and the face, I'm sure, is beautiful. And this guy's painting over with some sort of, manga, God knows what stuff. And you could say it's a shame, or you could say it is what it is. Yeah, personally, I would have liked to have seen the original that's behind it. But it's not for us to judge. You can judge as a human being. You'd say, what is this crap he's putting over this beautiful picture? But he obviously thinks that his stuff is better than the picture he's putting it over. you know, for what that's worth. And as a photographer, Nazanin's got it right, because she has seen one piece of art replacing another, and she's taken a picture of it. As photographers, street photographers in particular, ours is not necessarily to have an opinion. Do you think a street photographer should have an opinion, or should they just record what they see in front of them and present it? It's a good question. Some photographers will try to make a point. They will definitely try to, you know, incite emotion and make you feel a certain way. Others will simply present it. If you present an image, it could be taken from a certain point of view to give it a kind of angle. I mean, an angle, an emotional angle, or a point of view angle. Or it could just be, you know, this is what I saw, up to you to decide. So there it is, there it is. And you've got the artist at work, so that's a good thing. And so that was what we had today, because I've only just started this feature. Do let me know if you think it's a good idea. And then we had, what else did we have? All right, that's saying, oh, that's the other group, which I'll show you in a second. This is Mystery Monday from before. Now, a couple of people didn't realize that this theme had moved over to another one, because we had books a long time ago, and this is a new. So we did have books here, and we've looked at this before, but someone suggested books again, and I thought it was a good idea for the lockdown. But I think we had a new entry in the books. So what is new? What is new? That's not new. This isn't new. This is new. Nazanin's new, but the thing is she put it in the new thread as well. So let's go straight to the new thread. Here it is. No, here it isn't. Doing well here, aren't I? Literature for lockdown. Yeah, okay. So we saw some of these last week when I realized that I had just put the thread up, and good old Dorothy was playing around a lot with pictures. Now, we've seen these already last week, so I won't spend too much time on it. Okay, so it is Dorothy trying her best to present her books that she's reading in a nice way. By the way, what books are you guys reading? Give me a title. I mean, if you haven't given me a photograph, which you should have, you give me a title. And this one I like a lot. She's done something with there's something about it. I think it's overexposed. So she's a bit blurred, but it looks nice like that. The art of attracting clients, there's a lightness to it. There's a kind of dynamism to it. She's got a lovely smile on her face. It's great, you know. If she was selling something I was after, I would probably ask her, you know, about it with that sort of photograph. The art of attracting clients. The art of attracting clients. That's good, isn't it? Okay, then we've got Chris here, who, wow, said, after retiring, I cleared out all my computer books. Very cathartic. Yeah, look at that stuff. Wow. That's her computer books. Can you believe it? I've had a few computer books in my time. Oh God, I even recognize these things here, all these weird programming languages and all sorts of things. And you hoard them. I don't know about you, but computer, I hate throwing out books, but at least books that, you know, kind of a novel or, you know, something that makes you think. But computer manuals, and every few years or so in the past, I realized I had like manuals on Windows 95, you know, still in 2010 and stuff like that. So I think most of my computer manuals have gone, actually. I've also got a few For Dummies books, which I either never read or dipped into. You know, I bought them thinking, that's it, that's going to be my new next thing, but never happened. So yeah, good for you. I hope you recycle them, and not just anyway. So there you go. Yeah. So you were a computer person, I guess. Right, this is me. A sadly failed attempt to share some of my recent reading with you. There you are. That was just before this, when I realized not many people had contributed. And there it is. I had a bunch of books that I have dipped into recently. Atomic Habits is a good one, because it's one of my favorite books on habits. And whatever you believe, the idea is from this book is that, you know, habits can help you construct your life. In fact, your life in fact is a series of habits. It's been a while since I read it, actually, but it's basically that. So if you develop good habits, then you'll be developing a good life. And it goes into stuff like, you can't just quit a habit and leave a void. You need to put something into it. And how do you develop habits? It's really good. I mean, this is more like Sunday evening chat than Monday evening. So that's cool. 𝗬𝗡𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗡 is a great book because it's got the word sab in it for a start. And it's about the perfection in imperfection. So something's broken, it's mended with glue, which isn't invisible, but it's gold. This is like a Japanese thing. You smash a bowl, mend it, but mend it with in your face colorful glue, so that it has far more character than it had before. So I really like that idea. 𝗬𝗡𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗡. It's a bit like a flower as well. We think that a flower blooming, it's at the height of its beauty. And yet, why should one particular point in the cycle be the good point and the rest not be so good? There's a bush outside. Let me show you. There's a bush outside. 1 second. So I can show you, if you can see that. You see that bush there? It's a rose bush. And it is on its last legs. It's about finished. It was absolutely stunning. And now the roses are starting to go. But was there a particular point at which it became less beautiful? For a photographer, just put my phone on airplane in case I'm getting interference. For a photographer, yes, okay, flowers, you might want to photograph flowers at their height, let's say. But having said that, you should be able to see beauty in anything, like a perfect flower in its prime. It's almost too perfect. You've seen a million photographs of beautiful flowers. Where's the symbolism in that? But if the flower's starting to fade and it's starting to curl up, not only is it a very interesting photograph, but you're starting to inject all sorts of ideas of impermanence and things don't last, or cycles of life. And this is what would make a stronger photograph. You could have a beautiful a flower in full bloom and one next to it which is not in full bloom, and a bud, the cycle of life, as it were. You sometimes see old paintings with symbols like that. Far more interesting than just some stupid picture of a beautiful flower and that's it. Okay, Chris said, yes, I took books to half-price bookstore, got about $1.99. You're saying $1.99 for each book or for all of them? To be honest, if they're way out of date computer manuals, I wouldn't be surprised if you got $1.99 for the whole lot, just as a sort of symbolic gesture. So 𝗬𝗡𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗡 is cool, and you can actually see on the cover there, you can see it's a withered leaf. And then up in the top right is The Dot, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. The Dot. It's about an artist a little kid who didn't think they could draw, and then the teacher helped them to see that indeed they could. And it's great. Check it out. The Dot. It's perfect for children of all ages. What else? This one here. Nobody wants to read your beep. I say beep because the last time I said a vaguely tiny, teeny, weeny bad word, Facebook closed down the entire broadcast. Can you believe that? So I'm not taking any chances. And it wasn't even as strong as shit. Unbelievable. Nobody wants to read your shit. It's a great book, actually. It's by the same guy who did The War of something or other. Hang on. The War of, I don't know, The War of Writing or The War of Art or something. And it's really good books to get you going as an artist. Very, very inspirational. Any sort of artist. And then down there is Inner Engineering. Inner Engineering by a guy called Sadhguru, something like that. He's this kind of mystical guru type, flowing robes and massive white beard and hair and stuff. And he's got a good sense of humor as well. He's pretty cool. All of them. Okay, Chris, you got $1.99 for all of them. You mean all of them each one, or all of them at the same time? Forget it. Don't reply. You got $1.99 for a bunch of out of date computer books. Fair enough. I think you were probably lucky. What did you spend it on? Did you go and have a party, throw a party for everyone in the street? Okay, so there's that. And this one is nice. It's Nazanin. 2 young, proud Iranian authors at the annual Tehran Book Fair Uncensored in Paris. That's interesting. Tehran Book Fair Uncensored. I wonder what that means. Does it mean that Iranian? Well, it's Tehran. Wait a minute. Tehran Book Fair Uncensored, but it's not in Tehran, is it? It's in Paris. So are book fairs normally censored in Iran or even in Paris? Interesting. Or maybe it's the books that are censored if they don't speak of the right thing, or they speak of the right thing in the wrong way. So yeah, thanks for that. Really nice, perfectly on theme. And they do look very happy, don't they? Yeah. And you've put a little vignette on the edge there, which is nice. Okay. I've got Rob there replying to a comment. Whereas in fact, he should be watching us here, shouldn't he? All right. So that was that. Let's have a look at anything else we've got going. Sunday. Did anyone contribute anything on the Sunday theme? Let's have a look. Beep, beep, beep. I'll open this up. No, I'll go back here. Okay, let's see if I've got anything for Sunday. Announcements. In the announcements section, you've always got, I need a theme for this coming week, by the way. I'm going to push it this time. I'm not going to let people get off the hook without a struggle. See if we can get more people contributing. Showcase Sunday, and we had no comments. Oh, we had one comment, and it was me. How about that? Yeah. So let me know how I can make this a bit more inspiring. Maybe there won't be a Showcase Sunday anymore. Maybe it'll just be daily prompts, and that's it. Otherwise, it'll get too confusing. Bam! I've just decided, and we'll see how it goes. But there will be a weekly theme, and I'd like to know what you would like it to be. If you have any ideas. What else was there? Was there anything else? So let me show you before we. I mean, I normally try to give you winners, but in fact, the winners would be the people who contributed, because there weren't too many. So the winners for the week would be Rob, because he's contributed wonderfully. No, it has to be on theme. It has to be the books. There's books and right. So the winners for this week are Nazanin with 2 young, proud Iranian authors. We've got Chris, who is a winner. Well done, Chris. One of our 3 lucky winners this week, with your $199 worth of fascinating computer books ready to be recycled there. And we've got Dorothy with The Act of Attracting Clients. I'm sorry, 𝗙𝗢𝗓, but there can only be 3 winners. And also, if you didn't contribute, then you can't win either. Did you contribute? No, I don't think you did. So there it is. Sab, you're going to have to be disappointed this week, I'm afraid. Try again next time. And Chris made a valid comment. She said, what were you saying about poo-pooping? In English, we say poo-pooing. Poo-pooping your own work. Don't shut me down, Facebook. Don't shut me down. And I said, yeah, but you didn't see the books I dropped. There were like 10 on the floor. And of course, you know, I'm not really judging my entire self-worth by the success or not of this photograph. Not, you know, sort of sitting at home sobbing quietly to myself. Oh my God, I'm no good. Look at this photograph. And what else can I show you? Right, so before, I have announced the winners. Well done, Nazanin. Well done, Dorothy. Well done, Chris. And I'm just going to finish off with news of the new group. There's a new group. It's going to be exactly the same style as the photography group. If you like writing, then you're in good company, because so do I, and so do a lot of people. You can belong to both groups if you like, or you can just belong to the writing group if you just want the writing, or photography if you just like the photography. And I'm going to do a theme Not a theme. Yeah, there will be a weekly theme, but there will also be a daily prompt as well. And because I only have a certain amount of time and it's kind of getting crazy, I'm going to recycle my pixels. So I will be putting the daily prompt will be the same for all my groups, I've decided. For the Today's the Day group, for the photography group, for the writing group, the prompt will be the same. But obviously in the writing group, you're supposed to write something. And in the photography group, you're supposed to photograph something. So here is today's. Well, maybe it's not today's, it doesn't matter. So there's the photograph and of a certain day. No, I will look for another one because I've made it. There we are. So there, for example, is yesterday's prompt. Get creative every day. You imagine how the image makes you feel, or the text. Again, I've included a bit of text. So how does the text, what does the text bring to your mind? Let a few ideas or emotions or spontaneous reactions spring forth, whatever they may be. There's the bit of text, and you contribute a text. How cool is that? Getting people who want to write to write. It's about giving them a place where they can write. It's about inspiring them to write, and it's about encouraging them when they do. I don't want it to just be me doing that. That's why I insist that you should be, every time you submit some writing, you offer some writing, you make a comment on somebody else's, which is what makes the photo love go round, what makes the writing love go round, and that's what it's about. So people are already starting to join and to contribute texts to the writing group. It's called Creative Blog and Article Writing Group. There's going to be a masterclass attached. There'll be a challenge at some point when we have enough members. So exactly the same style as the photography group, but for people who want to express themselves creatively through writing. It's called the Creative Blog and Article Writing Group. But you will have a chance to contribute memes of your own, like saying as much as you possibly can in as few words as possible. That's my kind of mini definition of a meme. I write memes, so that's why I'm interested in them. Maybe, or is it the other way around? I'm interested in them because I write them. And poetry is okay as well, as part of the creative process moving you towards, and short stories as well. Short stories as well have their place in this group. Even though memes, poetry, and short stories don't sound like blog posts or articles. Yes, but aha, it's all words. It's all playing with language, and it's all about getting more and more skillful. You see, I'm not very skillful when I'm speaking. Whether I'm skillful when I'm writing or not, again, is a question, isn't it? And I don't have any answers here. But any sort of writing will help your other writing. So when I say creative blog and article writing, I want to read something that is really good. You know, it's got clever bits, it's got rich language, it's got humor, it's got a beginning, a middle, an end, it's got a thread, it's got something that makes you think or want to take action. This is a cool, there's even bits where the language seems poetic. So, or there's bits in it which you could take out and make as a quote or as a meme, you see? See how it's all tying together? So that's what this is about. And it all links nicely together. And we'll see where it goes from there. So that is, I've got 2 sister groups now. I'll tell you a little secret. There's a third one which might come along. Chris is saying, yeah. I absolutely agree. Yeah, that's positive, isn't it? 199. Let's have a 199 party. And Nazanin is saying, no, each time it's in a different place. Okay, so it's a place that goes around maybe the world, like a Tehran book festival, which goes around different capitals of the world. Maybe that's good. All right, so yeah, so I've got so there's these 2 groups now, and there's actually a third one because I'm kind of consolidating my life. I don't know about you guys. This is kind of a topic for Today's the Day. Let me just remind you about Today's the Day. If you have joined it, then make sure you contribute from time to time. That's the whole point. There's no point having a group called Today's the Day where you contribute, you note what your significant moment of the day was if you don't do it. All right, it's not for voyeurs, it's for people who want to use it to share and encourage others. So if you're in the group, make sure you're contributing regularly. And I've tried to make it a little bit more fun with adding, new elements and like little icon you can put before your today's the day. If you want to be encouraged, or you want support, or you want, empathy, or you want people to join in some sort of game with you. So that in today's the day, you see, today's the day, more pixel recycling. The banner changes every day with my photo of the day. Come on. You see, there it is again. And, I'm not going to say that I'm embarrassed that I'm using the same photo. I'm going to say that I'm quite pleased, really, because my life is getting simpler. I was trying to do different things for each group. My life was getting ridiculous. So, what do I do every day? I do a photo of Paris and I write something. So I'm going to use that, but I'm going to exploit it in different ways. In the Today's the Day group, there is a little bit of original creativity here, and that is these words underneath Today's the Day. Based on the photograph, normally, I try to imagine a new little pithy little phrase that might stimulate something in you or inspire you. I think it's nice. I think it's good. I like it. I just hope that some other people like it and that more and more people contribute, because I think it's a valuable thing. I think it's a really good idea. This idea that you note down each day is significant for some reason. I'll just give you my little spiel. It's the whole reason for creating the group, la raison d'être for this group, is that our lives zoom away. We don't notice them going. I mean, I'm only maybe a bit more than halfway through my life. But having said that, I've got this kind of feeling that at the end of it, a lot of people, they kind of think they wish they'd done more. So this is a concrete way of realizing that every day we're doing something good. Every day we should note down something. This was the day I did this thing, which I'll never do again. And I'd never done it before. I'll never do it again. This was the day I did this. This was the day I tasted chocolate and pistachio ice cream for the first time. This was the day I got back in touch with my long lost cousin. This was the day and something memorable. You can also use the group. This is fantastic. You can also use the group as a motivational tool. You put your today's the day before you've done it. And you say, today's the day I will something or other, or today's the day I do something. And you can put a little rocket sign next to it if you like. I've got these symbols which you can use for motivational or other purposes. And where is it? So many people have contributed. I can't find what I'm looking for. There it is. So this is a reminder. You can put an icon. For example, this rocket. You put a rocket before today's the day. That means you want to be held accountable. You claim you're going to do something at the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, you're supposed to have done it. And other people might say, "Hey, have you done it? Have you done it?" That's cool. You put a light bulb. That means ideas wanted. You can put this recycling symbol. That means feedback, please, on this idea or what I'm doing. And there's a whole load of them. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Don't you think? With color and everything. So there you go. And at the end of the day, I will post the version with text, just in case anyone wants to read the rest of the little. Is that right, or is that some other group? No, I don't think I do. No, you just got to go to my profile if you want to read the text there, because the text isn't relevant in this group. So there it is. You see, yeah. And I keep saying I've got a third creative group, and I'll tell you what it is. I've got these 3 webinars throughout the year. The first one is on now. It's happening now. We're on starting week 7 out of 9. And it's called the Creative Smartphone Photography Masterclass. One which will be starting soon, if you're interested, is the same style. I'm standardizing everything. And maybe it's a good idea. I don't know. What do you think? Another masterclass, exactly the same thing. And it's going to be called the Creative Blog and Article Writing Masterclass. And then my third one of the year, which is about my third group as well, is about any sort of creativity. And it's going to be called the Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass. Again, same length of time in the autumn. And you could theoretically, you could do all three, or you could choose the one that's best for you. The one in the autumn, called the Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass, is about anything. It's about creativity itself, not photography or writing specifically. But you will do a project over the 9 weeks, and you will finish something. That's still part of the deal. So the Infinite Creativity group is going to be about creativity in general, especially things you make. You make with your hands. There's a group for photography, so it's not so much for photography, but it could be. Not so much for writing, but it could be, if you like the feel of that group. But anything else like painting or anything which is about creating something, that group will be for that. And also for creativity in general, for talking about creativity more than we do in these groups, in the writing group or the photography group, where we focus specifically on creative writing and on creative photography. That's the blah blah on that. And what else was I going to show you? No, that's about it, I think. I'll show you the Infinite Creativity homepage so that you recognize it when you, well, actually, where is it? I think that's it. Yeah, so you recognize it when you go to book up on the masterclass. Okay, so it looks like that. And as you can see, there's some, okay. As you can see, the 𝗬𝗢𝗓 masterclasses, the next 9-week creative experience coming up is blog and article writing masterclass. It says starts May, but it's going to start probably June now because of the setbacks we've had with the virus and everything. And you click here, early booking. It's very, the best price you'll ever get is there. But anyway, that's a sales blurb. All right, so so let's go back and say bye-bye, actually. Thanks for watching. I'm sure there was something else I was going to... Yes, the theme, people. First of all, thank you for giving me the idea, but through talking to you, that I should not have anything at the weekend and just have the daily prompts. That's good. That's got rid of another thing for me. I'll do the same thing in the writing group, just daily prompts. That's it. What can we have as a photo theme for the next week that will actually inspire people to contribute? Come on, help me out here. Beep, 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 beep. Ideas. My mug. Could that be fun? My mug? Or is that silly? Or is it just like, is it like books? My mug. Why not my mug? Isn't that fun? Because everyone's at home. They're finding it difficult to go out. It's a good excuse not to take photographs, and they're kind of fed up with home, and they're not inspired. They look around and they're not inspired. What about a picture of you with your favorite mug? How does that sound? Does that sound interesting? Well, excuse me. No. What does that mean? No. No what? No. Sorry, Nazanin. No what? So, so does this sound like a good idea to you? Your favorite mug? I can't think of anything else. Your favorite teddy bear? What you go to bed with at night? Your favorite comforter? That's all I've got. I can't think of anything else. All right. So I'm just wait and see if Nazanin says what she's saying no to. So negative. If you said yes, I wouldn't know what you were saying yes to either. Beep, 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 beep. There's about a 10-second time lag here. And then there's the time it takes to type no. Right, what else is coming up this week? Well, my masterclass is going fine, moving into week 7. Wow, my masterclass is run on this formula. 5 modules. The first module is 1 week. Second module is 2 weeks. The third module is 3 weeks. The fourth module is 2 weeks. Nazanin is now saying it's okay, but I don't know what's okay. Maybe the mug. I don't know what's okay. I don't know what you're talking about. You're saying it's okay for the mug? All right. And the final week is 1 week, you see? So numbers of weeks, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Wow, the 3-week one was a biggie. There's a reason it's in the middle. It's the core of the masterclass. Wow, it was a biggie. It was great. It was great, but it was a biggie. We got some amazing photographs coming out of it. Really fantastic. And the progress people are making. I haven't got permission to show you their individual galleries yet. I'll ask for permission to see if I can show you that next week. They're just fantastic. And you see a progression as well through the themes over the weeks to now. And what happens is they learn new things in the later weeks and the later trainings, and then they want to go back and apply them to their earlier photographs, because they're looking at their earlier photographs thinking, oh my God, what was I doing? So it's really great, wonderful process. I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, Nazanin is saying, I have hundreds of mugs, and yes. Nazanin has now said, let me take you through her dialogue. No, it's okay. I have hundreds of mugs, and yes. Yeah, I've got a few mugs. All right, then. My favorite mug. How about that? It is what it is. All right, thanks you guys for watching. If you're watching on the replay, well, thanks for watching the replay. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'm looking for more engagement. Let's get more things going. It's my fault if there isn't enough engagement to an extent. You know, I'm offering what I can here. There's a new theme, a daily prompt. Get rid of all the rest. Daily prompt, weekly webinar, weekly theme. This webinar is the webinar. And that's it. That's it. 3 things. No, actually there's 4 things. This weekly Facebook Live, a weekly theme, which I give during the Facebook Live, and the winners of last week's theme, a daily prompt with a photograph and a bit of text. The 4th thing is for everybody who has a creative streak in them. Every Sunday evening, I'm doing a 2-hour drop in when you want, leave when you want, chat about creativity, productivity, the crazy side of life, the universe, and everything. And it's on a Sunday evening for me. And whatever happens, happens. I show you my creative stuff. You can show me yours. You ask me questions. We talk about creativity, productivity, and what it takes to lead a good life. Sound good? All right. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, everyone. My friends, Chris, Nazanin, and 𝗙𝗓𝗓𝗓 dropped in, and anyone else who's watched on the replay, fantastic. Love you guys, as they say, and talk to you again soon. So there you go. I've been Sab for another week. Hope you're doing okay. Hope we get back to normal soon, and take care of yourselves. And how can I put this? Get some photographs into the group. Do it. Do it. It's not a group without photographs being posted. It's not a group. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.